Hi everyone, this is Christian Bates and I'm going to tell you exactly how I make my compost. My compost is made from a multi-part system. I'm going to run around and show you quick. Check it out. Okay, first it starts on the counter. You have food, you're making your food, and you put the food in a bowl. Now check this out, this bowl is full because I am at the end of a cycle. You'll see what I mean by cycle in a second. Then, after the convenient bowl is full, you open up the larger container. I recommend getting this kind of larger 1 gallon or more container. Put that in here. You can see this is full because I'm at the end of a cycle, but I'm about to move that cycle ahead. All right, check it out. We're gonna go to our deck out here. Okay, once that 1 gallon, 2 gallon under the sink thing gets full, you put it in 5-gallon buckets. They're getting full of compost, and then you want to keep this on just to make sure the dog, the raccoons don't get to it. Watch out! We're gonna run all the way into the compost part of the garden right now. We went from small bin, larger bin to an even bigger bin right here. Underneath here is a wine barrel. This contains more compost that's been recently done. Now this compost is not done, it's not composted, it's just more fresh materials. Then on the ground right here is just about finished compost. And it's not sifted yet. As you can see, there's large chunks of coconut and some bark and stuff that got on here. I'm gonna sift this into the remnants of my previous compost piles that are done and sifted right here. This is a nice compost. Now, since this is where I do my main composting, this is where the actual composting happens on the ground, I need to actually move this compost out. That's why I'm at the end of a cycle. So I'm gonna sift this compost, and once I do, then I'll be able to take the compost from here and the compost that's on my deck in the buckets and put it here and start a new batch. Then a few months later, we'll be at the end of a cycle again. That compost will be done, it'll be soil. I'll sift it, and then the process will go more and more. Now the end product is not the compost itself, but the garden bed you put compost into and then grow your plants. And then those plants go into your kitchen, you cut them up, you have leftovers, you put that into your thing. So it's a whole cycle. It's the most amazing cycle you can do at home. It really is an important thing to get into. Anybody can do this thing. You can do it on your hardcore inner city apartment, and you can do this in a much more open country setting, and you can do this in a suburban environment, and you can do it everywhere in between. It's very possible, and you can do it, and I trust that you will get motivated and get into doing this. When a compost is being made, it's alive. It is full of bacteria and composting organisms. And it'll get warm in the center of a pile because of the heat created by the fermenting process. Oh yeah, it's done. You can tell when compost is done. It smells like a good garden. If you've never been around a garden before, you should definitely check out some gardens, your local community garden, and get to know what compost smells like so that when you make your own, you know when it'll be done, because sometimes it can look not done. There might be a little chunks left, but it's done enough, and then when you sift it, it'll be really done. Yeah, there's definitely something within the human psyche and the human olfactory that knows what good soil smells like, which is really interesting because you can't eat this. You know not to eat this stuff because it's not the perfectly controlled ferment. There's some bad bacteria in here, but it's good for the soil. But you know it's good. Why do we know that soil smells good when it's good? Why is that? I think it's because we should know what our environment is like. Look at this fresh stuff here. This is compost that's several months old. It still smells really good. And then this is the new stuff that I just sifted. Oh yeah, that is so good, dude. Oh my god. And look, everybody loves it. The plant roots, the barking dog loves it. Everybody loves this compost. The whole world loves compost. And the most tragic thing happened. All the topsoil in so many parts of the world have been stripped of the compost, of the topsoil. Topsoil compost, kind of the same thing. Compost can be an isolated batch of basically topsoil that you're creating. Topsoil is more of a web of surface of compost that kind of refines itself in terms of the mycelial network, sort of like an avatar. There's a network of information that is happening between the nervous system of the probiotics that live in that soil, the beneficial soil organisms. And those soil organisms continue to break nutrients down and then work in a symbiosis with the plant roots. So we got this bamboo right here. This bamboo could not live without these soil organisms. It is not capable of doing that. It needs a symbiotic relationship, just like we would not be able to live without the probiotic bacteria in our stomach. Our stomach is like the soil. It's like we took the soil or the world and turned it inside out and carried it with us, and we walk around with the earth within us. And plants do that, but instead of having a stomach within them, they have their stomach in their roots.